Thank you, Catherine. Time now 5:31 and new details this morning. A Low Country-born state senator has died. That's according to his family. Arthur Ravenel Jr. was 95 years old, and he served as a state senator from 1981 to 1986, and then again from 1997 to 2003. That's according to the State House's website. He served Senate District 34, which includes Charleston, Georgetown, and Horry counties. And before that, Ravenel also served in the House from 1953 to 1958. He also had a stint serving in the U.S. Congress from 1987 to 1995. The Ravenel Bridge in Charleston is also named after him.
He was a charming man with a wonderful accent, and he was a quintessential low country man. There have only been 3 natural politicians that I can name. Arthur Ravenel was one of them. Very bright man. He got a lot done for the Low Country. He brought the Republican Party here, got it established, and his crowning achievement was he got the Arthur Ravenel Bridge built here.
When the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge opened back on July 16, 2005, it actually became the longest cable-stayed bridge of its time in North America and the tallest structure in South Carolina. Pretty cool, right?